If you have ever hated how you looked, avoided mirrors, or literally every single time you're just disgusted by your own reflection, well, you're in great luck because today I'm gonna teach you guys how to weaponize your insecurity and make fuck you money in 2025 via self hate hacking. In this video, I will be talking about what self hate hacking is. And once you understand what it is and how it works, I promise you, you guys are never ever going to look at another TikTok the same ever again or any type of online selling. I'll be breaking this video down into three sections. I'll be talking about why insecurity sells extremely hard, harder than literally anything else on the planet, how it taps into your brain's hardwired need for survival and social approval, what self hate hacking is, and how some of actually the top TikTok shop affiliates in the space learn how to leverage their own insecurities and turn that into high converting content. And then, lastly, a three-step formula on how you guys can turn that emotional pain and insecurity into profit using TikTok Shop. Now, if you guys are new around here, hello, my name is Sydney, and at 21 years old, I've been able to make $200,000 profit in a single month. Well, better way than using my own insecurities. Literally, my breakthrough month finally clicked when I realized I was like, wait a minute, my insecurities are something that thousands, millions of people actually relate to. For example, I hated how I looked. I always get mistaken for somebody younger, which is funny. I'm not 12 years old, yet everybody on the internet somehow believes that I am. And because I realized that there are other individuals out there that go through this exact same problem, where because they maintain their skin and because they look decades younger than they actually are, I was like, wait a minute, there is something here. And I learned how to leverage that into high converting content. And that's literally the secret sauce. It's just figuring out a way how can you tap into people's insecurities by making highly relatable content. Throughout all of my videos, I always say this time and time again, if you actually lived through the transformation and you actually suffered from the same insecurities, why don't you leverage that? You know, you knew the pain of what it felt like from A, which is what made you want to go to B. Again, like literally a no-brainer. You have to pick products that you actually used or can relate to that help you on your transformation journey, because that's how you can authentically sell. And towards the end, I'm also going to be adding a few viral examples. But anyways, without further ado, let's get on to the first part. What is self-hate hacking? Basically, what it is you're using insecurities and negative emotions, either your own or others, as a tool to create emotionally charged TikTok content that drives product sales. So you're not essentially manipulating people, you're showing them a path that they already desperately want to take. So, for example, everybody has insecurities, like without a doubt. Like, I remember being insecure again with my, like, just how I look in general. People always mistaking me for someone younger when I'm not. And the reason why that's an insecurity instead of, oh, like, that's something that you should be proud about, is how it made me really insecure regarding, oh, like, how are people going to take me seriously if I literally look like I just came out of the womb? I'm very young. Usually people would rather trust somebody that looks a little bit older, a little bit mature, because they have that foundation of just years into the game, but they don't realize like you can literally start at an earlier age than most people and you just happen to also look young, if that makes sense. But anyways, most people are a victim of their self-hate, so successful marketers weaponize these emotions to relate deeply to people, create emotional hooks, and offer products as a solution. So, in the end, what this all basically means is insecurity isn't just emotion, it's a biological leverage. I just want you guys to take away that when it comes to insecurities, there's two fundamental differences. There are people who are victims of their insecurities, and there are people who are hackers of their insecurities. And I hope at the end of this video, I can teach you guys how to actually leverage your insecurities and learn how to hack it. Because the last thing that you would want to be is the victim of your own insecurity, where you just straight up feel insecure, You constantly consume content hoping like whatever, and then just continuously buy things passively. And the worst part of all is like there are insecure people out there that do buy products and then they just assume like this will literally fix their entire problem when it actually takes active effort. And that's the important part. The way how you deliver your content, make sure that you're actually being authentic and being legit. Like, hey, this isn't like a, you know, instant solution that will solve all of your problems. That's extremely unrealistic and mildly unethical as well. And ideally, you don't form your content in that way, because think about it too, like sometimes there's just some things that are just straight up too good to be true. That's why, for example, in my content I straight up say, you know, yeah, I look young because I am Asian, like part of it is a genetic factor, but at the same time I take like a very active approach with my skincare. Like, if you guys just knew the amount of products that I use to get to this point where I have no acne, clear skin, and to literally have a younger, youthful complexion, you will realize it takes active effort, right? It's not just I woke up one day and this is just how I look. It just doesn't work like that. And then hackers, they understand their insecurity, they create content around it, and they position the product as a solution. Again, when you are making your content, you need to 100 like be very firm in your content that if you want to have like for example a six-pack chiseled abs, yes, you can take this product and get rid of your bloating, but at the same time, I also go to the gym. I also work out. I also take care of my diet. You know, some people, you know, they make like some of the best well crafted scripts or whatever the fuck, and they go stupid viral. But the reason why their content isn't converting is it's just extremely unrealistic. You have to be realistic to the average person. You need to realize they're just lost. They just need help and they need direction. And that's your job to do. All right, so now that you guys know what self-hate hacking is, let's talk about why does it actually work so well. Ignore these images. I was just in the mood to add these, but it kind of relates to it. But anyways, it all comes down to our biological programming. So for example, human behavior at its core is wired for survival and reproduction. These two main things. Literally, that's the reason why society, humanity continues to progress. It's these two main things, and you need to keep this at the top of your head, right? So, what is survival? Avoiding danger, staying alive. And what is reproduction? Attracting potential mates, status, and acceptance. So, for example, when someone feels insecure, body, face, clothes, intelligence, etc., their brain interprets this as I'm less likely to survive or reproduce if I don't fix this. This is a primal thing. So in ancient times, what this means is looking unhealthy means you're a weaker mate, which means there's a less likelihood of you being able to reproduce, which is what again, like humans are just hardwired for survival. That's exactly why some people have a high body count, but I don't want to get too deep into that. You can probably catch where I'm trying to get at here. Anyways, being attractive or low status means that you're more likely to get rejected, which also means there's lower or no survival advantage, which is why, like back then, it's literally like the survival of the fittest. If you're ugly, you're probably not even a part of the crowd. You know why? Like how back in the old days, lone wolves did not exist. If you were a lone wolf, you would be dead. You want to be a part of the group. You want to be a part of the community because lone wolves just don't have a higher likelihood of survival. It's just what it is, right? So today, when somebody sees, I used to hate my skin, but now I'm glowing, their brain lights up not because of vanity, but because of the primal wiring of you potentially increasing your mating value or higher survival, right? So what that means is, I mean, like just think about it. If you go on Tinder or Hinge, I mean, I don't use these apps, so I wouldn't know, but like you can imagine, like most of the guys would probably, is it swipe right or swipe left? I don't know, but most of the guys would probably not even give the fat chick a chance on Tinder. Or like if she's not like a 10 out of 10 baddie, he probably wouldn't even give her a chance. Like if she had pepperoni face, he would not give her a chance. Plain and simple. Why? Again, primal wiring. It's kind of messed up. I mean, it is, but I mean, to each their own. It's just I don't know, like just it's just how humans are wired. So anyways, why does selling through insecurity work? Well, selling through insecurity works because it taps again into our evolutionary wiring. Humans are biologically programmed to fear rejection and crave approval, status, and connection. So, what this means is when a product is framed in a way to escape pain and gain acceptance, the brain sees it as a shortcut to survival and mating success and acts fast, often without needing logic. Again, if you guys watch my previous videos, I was talking about heuristics, which are basically mental shortcuts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go watch my previous video because you guys are missing out on a lot of information. Anyways, here's a couple examples. So, number one, insecurity activates primal fears of being unaccepted, alone, low status, etc. Transformation stories promises a path out of that fear. So, for example, towards safety, towards success, towards love, towards approval. For example, a common trend I've been seeing on TikTok is looks maxing. Oh my God, there are so many insecure teenage men out there. And by the way, this is within reason. I totally get it. You know, when your body is rapidly changing and you don't know what to do, it's okay to feel insecure. That's normal because you don't know how to process what's going on, right? So, a lot of people realize there's something to capitalize on here. And in conjunction, they're actually also helping these younger men by telling them to go to the gym, to eat healthier, to have clearer skin, and like the whole I don't know about the whole jawline maxing thing. Maybe that's a bit extreme. Or the negative cantle tilt versus positive cantle tilt, or the hunter eyes. Maybe those things are a little bit extreme. For the other stuff, I hope you guys can kind of get what I'm trying to say with how overall, regardless if these people are literally just trying to capitalize off your insecurity like you, Max, the fact of the matter is now we have a bunch of young men looking up to these guys who are now acting as like a source of inspiration for these younger men to now start going to the gym, eating healthier, really taking their health into account to potentially get a mate. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you do to the external side of things. If you never focus on how you are as an individual on the inside, if you're insecure, you'll always be insecure, right? So, to some extent, you still need to do some inner work, learn how to love yourself, and just appreciate you for who you are. I don't want to, dive too deep into this. This is just the tip of the iceberg. At the very bottom, there's still a lot of things that you need to work on, but like, I'm going to be honest, for a simple TikTok shop 90-second video, you can't just include everything there. Like, I'm pretty sure most online sellers can agree to this. Either you're a creator or a brand owner. Like, these products are literally, again, just the tip of the iceberg. At the end of the day, we all hope that this is just that one thing that acts as a catalyst to hopefully initiate that change in an individual, and then they do the rest of the work. Because again, literally no product on the fucking planet can literally just change someone overnight. It just doesn't happen. That's not real, not authentic. And ideally, again, you don't market yourself in a way where that's how you make your content, because again, that's just fucking unethical. And then lastly, to wrap everything up, the product becomes ideally a shortcut, aka a heuristic, to fix the problem without needing a full logical breakdown. Again, if you guys don't have any idea what I'm talking about when it comes to heuristics or mental shortcuts, I highly, highly, highly recommend you guys check out my previous video. I don't know where I'm putting it. The bottom line, you're not just selling a skincare product or gym equipment. You're offering a survival advantage, aka confidence, strength, acceptance. You're also offering a mating advantage, which can mean looking good or having a higher status, or a quick path to safety, where that's through familiar mental shortcuts. So that's why this style of emotional transformation based marketing works not just socially, but biologically. All right, so how do you actually self hate hack on TikTok shop, or literally doesn't matter? There's three main steps. Starting with the first one, you have to find the pain, aka the cue. So find a relatable insecurity, either personal or market wide, and then use that exact same pain as the first few seconds of your TikTok video, aka the hook. So here's some examples. I used to hate how I looked. I avoided mirrors because of my acne, or I never wanted to take my clothes off at the beach because I looked fat. Step two is you offering the transformation, which is the routine. Most importantly, otherwise, your TikTok shop video is not going to convert because people are just going to believe that you are full of shit. Show before and after transformations. I will show examples towards the end of the video, but hold on for a moment. Two, present the TikTok shop product as the bridge to the transformation. Oh my God, guys, I always talk about this in all of my videos, my MAP framework. What is it? It stands for motive, action, proof. Basically, what it is motive is what is the emotional driver, right? What is the emotional pain point? What is the emotional desire? Action stands for what is the action that this person took that caused that change? What did they do differently? So this is when you bring up the bridge. Like for example, nothing really changed until I started taking this, or literally nothing was working until I did this. I mean, that's kind of the exact same thing. I just worded it differently. But yeah, things like that. And it's also during this stage when you actually show proof that the product actually works. So this is when you start pulling up studies or just literally fact check backed up evidence to say like, yeah, like this is why what I'm saying is actually credible. Usually in most TikTok shop videos, this is when people show like places of authority. So either clips of, sometimes I've seen Andrew Huberman or Gary Brecka or actual dermatologists or doctors, things like that. And lastly, proof. This is when you start throwing like actual tangible proof that this product does work. So again, which is why I always say, always pick products that you do use, because you're gonna have the results, right? So, for example, as you guys can see on the screen right now, this is a great example from Janet. I remember I was scrolling on TikTok and she's showing this Dr. Groot conditioner, shampoo, whatever to help with hair loss. I remember seeing a video from Bretman Rock. Yeah, Bretman Rock, he was talking about
after
how
6 months
he just
ago.
had like a lot of oil buildup on his hair. I think in Janet's case, she's using this product to help with thinning hair, and that's what you need. You need to have tangible proof before you actually make these videos. Otherwise, people are literally not going to believe you and they're just going to doubt you. I know there are some people that fake it, but I don't really vouch for that type of stuff. And I want to help guide you guys towards success the right way. So I don't really want to talk about any of that. But for example, right, I don't want to show pictures because I'm kind of insecure about it right now. But I actually have thinning hair right now. It may not look like it, but I don't know if it's also just Asian hair, but my hair is really thin, which is why it doesn't really look like there's a lot of volume. So I got this product. I think this is like a, I don't remember. Yeah. Anyways, this is like a popular product in Korea for thinning hair. It's called a Cipri hair ampule scalpy, whatever. To put it simply, this product, what it does is it helps with people who have thinning Asian hair, which is exactly why I got it. I'm still testing it. I've been using it for not even a week yet, but I did take pictures of my before results. And hopefully, if the product actually does work, then I have some hair growing around here. It's because of my baby hairs. I don't want to get too deep into it. But yeah, ideally, you make videos on the products that you actually use. I kind of got sidetracked with the map framework. But anyway, so yeah, like with step 2 in this self-hate hacking thing, again, you want to show before and after results for the transition. And by presenting the TikTok shop product as the bridge to the transformation, what this does is it makes the solution actually feel attainable, achievable, and emotionally rewarding. This brings us to step 3 of self hate hacking, which is creating the new identity. This is the individual's reward. And what that means, you want to paint the picture of the new, better life. And how do you do that? Again, by having the after transformation and by being that person. Like, I just can't imagine why somebody wouldn't believe you, right? So, you want to reinforce the positive emotions tied to the product. And how do you do this? Via confidence, attractiveness, pride, self love, intimacy. Wow, this is amazing because this actually ties into the next part where I'm going to start talking about examples. Now, guys, we are currently in a new software. This is the Daily Virals. And if you guys are familiar with what this software is, well, you're in luck because my next video is going to be about this and how you can literally copy your way to 165K profit in a single month. And this is with evidence, with all the scripts written out, etc. I'm going to show you guys everything from A to Z. If that excites you, then make sure you guys subscribe. Not to get too deep into that, I'm still working on that video. You guys remember from the hook earlier, I showed a couple videos, and these 3 videos right here perfectly exemplify that. I don't know how much GMV this creator generated. I'm pretty sure she hit 100K months from showing her insecurity. And you can see, I'm not going to play the whole video because it's just going to make everything way too long, but you can see like a from the timestamp images right here, like she's literally showing what her stomach looks like now versus what she used to look like. Look how bloated she looks. That's what I'm saying. You need to have these transformation images. It just adds so much credibility to the content. Like essentially by doing this, you're kind of stepping into the viewer's shoes and making them feel validated, like, hey, I actually used to be where you're at right now. And in this video, I'm going to show you how I actually overcame that and how I have more confidence and how I feel this, and that. Okay, guys, real quick, I'm sorry. I went off on a whole side tangent and then it clicked to me. I was like, wait a minute, I'm just yapping now. So I don't know where I last left off. That was probably like 10 minutes worth of yapping that I just cut out. But anyways, what I was saying is I'm just not going to play any of these videos because I don't want this video to be too long and I want to get straight to the point. But for example, this lady right here, she was talking about how because she was so insecure about how she looked and how she felt, bloated, low energy, face breaking out, etc., she almost canceled her whole birthday trip because she didn't even want to be at the beach anymore, feeling how she was feeling. But then this lady, this girl that she saw on TikTok, put her onto this. So then the video plays of like what this lady took. Basically, like, the reason why your stomach looks like this is because you have a lot of stuff in your body that's not really digested. So like your gut just has a bunch of poop essentially rotting, or it's just turning into fat cells, etc., yada yada yada. I don't know how the whole product works. And then once the clip of the lady is finished, then she introduces the product. Oh, this is what I use. This is what I'm talking about, how if you do have these transformation images, it really does help a lot. Because for example, this is when she introduces that photo of her where she literally looks fat as fuck. And so then she compares it to how I'm not as snatched as she is, but she's come down a long way. This is the realistic part, which is what I love, because there's some people where they say like they lost 30 pounds or they suddenly spawned abs. Like that stuff is not realistic at all. You need to know your viewers. And if that was you watching the video, you'd probably be like, oh my God, this person's full of shit. I don't believe you. So, anyways, this is when she talks about how I'm down 12 pounds. My skin has cleared up since I'm properly flushing out the toxins from my gut. And why is that? Oh, this is when, again, now she introduces the action part from my MAP framework, where now she talks about how this digestive enzymes actually what solves her problems. And then if you look closely, like right here, she starts talking about the benefits. I hope you guys can see this and like my face cam isn't covering it, but right here she talks about how it just helps with your health overall, such as your sleep, energy, mental health, digestion, skin, confidence, and all that. Like seriously, working on your gut completely changes the way how you feel in your body. Right now you're putting mental imagery in somebody's head. I love this video. What an amazing video. Anyways, and towards the end, this is just mostly CTA stuff, so I'm not going to talk about it. But moving on now to the next video. I don't know if she shows it here. Yeah, so Sav shows like a fat, bloated version of herself. Again, perfect. Meanwhile, like the actual video of her looks snatched. Body is bodying, right? That's what you're looking for. So anyways, she kind of starts the video a little bit differently. Like, this is insane. I need more women to realize this. Like, if you're dealing with the puffy face, so here's the insecurity part, the puffy face, the puffy body, the constant crash outs, acne, fatigue, all that shit, it's likely just a symptom of having high cortisol. And then this is when you start educating the viewer, the action part, most common things women go through. This means you have too much stress in your body, and you can reduce all of these symptoms by forcing your body out of that flight or fight mode by taking anti-stress supplements like magnesium, ashwagandha. And this is when you start introducing like what is actually in this product that actually helps with that problem, which are both in little nettle packets, plus L-theanine and vitamin D3, which is just so good for your body. And I hope you guys are also paying attention that with these videos, even though they're all intentionally well crafted with the insecurity, the benefits, etc., it also just sounds organic. So don't feel bad if you have to say like or whatever. As long as it's not intentionally dragging out the video, literally just yap your head off and just make sure that you're keeping track of the key talking points throughout the video. And then this is the proof part that she talks about in her video, which is AKA the transformation and how you make it realistic for some people. Just look at the other reviews people are leaving, like their transformations are diabolical, their face completely changed in 2 months. Their bodies like so snatched. It's insane, just freaking crazy how easy it is to have a glow up just by lowering your cortisol levels. Girl, I'm telling you, if you want to change your life, you're gonna get snatched. You're gonna clear your skin up. Lower that damn cortisol. Get the little Nello packets. Again, another perfect example. Probably would have been better if I actually showed these videos. I don't know. Maybe I'll refilm this. I have no idea. I just don't want this video to be too long. But anyways, last example, another great case study. So basically, this girl was literally just talking about how insecure she felt because throughout high school, people were calling her like raccoon eyes because of the little darkness shit under her eyes. And what's crazy is it literally disappeared just a couple months ago because of like these GU patches. Again, she talks about it here. I've been struggling with this for a long ass time. Oh, actually, not high school, it was middle school. And she was even bullied, literally called raccoon, like a raccoon. And I think the controversial part is the fact that she's a black lady saying this in the video. So I'll play the video right here real quick.
It's called raccoon. Raccoon.
Yeah, okay, so that came out of her mouth. Anyways, yeah, so then after the clip, this is when he actually introduces his personal experience after watching that video. And this is when he starts talking about thank you to her because she finally freaking changed my life. This is important, right? Like your life needs to be changed because this is what the people want. And how my skin looks because she put me onto these GU anti-aging pads. He calls himself so fucking ugly. Okay, maybe that's a bit extreme, but that's what he said, words that came out of his mouth. Then he talks about here's how my skin looks currently with no makeup, no filter, or anything of that sort. I used to feel super insecure about my skin, but now he gets compliments on it all the time that he gets ID'd everywhere, wherever he goes, because he usually gets mistaken for someone in his 20s when he's almost like 30. Okay, right around here is when he shows the transformation. There you go, puffy eyes. I'm gonna leave you guys some practical applications, specifically TikTok shop product ideas. So for example, when it comes to insecurities in the beauty niche, this can be skincare or cosmetics. You wanna look for things that solves acne, dull skin, uneven skin tone, or even wrinkles, fine lines. Fitness, you can think about equipment or supplements. So something that just solves body insecurity, strength in either men or women, either or perhaps even weight loss. Or, for example, for fashion, things can be like clothing, accessories. So, this can help women with self poor image, lack of style, confidence, things like that. You know, like there's other women out there that just don't feel confident in the way how the clothes wrap around their body. The first product that comes to mind is like Skims by Kim Kardashian with lifestyle slash wellness niche. Things can be like mental health tools or perhaps journals. So things that can help solve internal self-hate or mindset improvement. I remember a couple months ago there was a product on TikTok shop that helped with childhood trauma, things like that. It's like a black book. I don't remember what it's called. And then there's another one, a head on the cover. If I remember what they're called, I'm going to attach images on the screen. So to wrap the video up, here are some key takeaways. So basically, what are cues? Cues are emotional triggers that must be hyper specific. So don't just say, I hate myself. You need to say, I used to cry every time I looked at mirrors because my acne just stands out. I felt so disgusted going on my date last night because my boyfriend was staring at my ass. Or like, I can't kiss my boyfriend because my breath stinks so bad. Like, you need to make this extremely emotional. Super specific, because the more specific the pain sounds, the more the viewer will feel like, wait a minute, that's me too. Use strong emotionally charged before and after storytelling because transformation stories sell. People want to see visual proof that change is possible, right? You want to become slash embody that proof. Next, you want to be relatable because relatability equals virality. The more pain slash negative emotion you can evoke from the viewer, the more people will actually feel connected. So for example, people don't live perfect lives. So if the video perfectly captures exactly how somebody feels about their body, their skin, confidence, etc., then they'll watch, which is extremely good because this also increases your average view duration and more people are also more likely to share it. If they literally watch the entire thing, why wouldn't they, right? So use emotional storytelling to create loops in the viewer's head. These loops need to be something that the viewers want to step into by buying the product. So what this means is don't just make people feel bad just to sell, right? You want these people to feel. Why is there so many typos? Jesus Christ. I was probably having, not me having dyslexia. But yeah, anyways, you want these people to feel understood, then showing a solution because this also builds trust and drives action. People don't buy if they don't trust you, which is why, again, time and time again, I always say this: you want to pick products actually use that you actually believe in because people can feel the energy through the screen and it just helps you out a lot, right? Like ideally you want to pick products that you actually have conviction in because otherwise people are just going to think that you're full of shit. Oh, and then I want you guys to remember this pain transformation identity cycle, right? Show the pain through insecurity, through the struggle, show the transformation through storytelling plus using the product. Show the identity, the new identity, by showing the confidence, feeling proud of yourself, or feeling attractive again. Remember, self hate is free traffic. Insecurities are fuel for attention. And since these are universal, literally talking about them grabs attention faster than any hook. I mean, that is well, I don't know what I'm trying to say with this part. I probably forgot. I can't pull it out of my head. But anyways, all I'm trying to say is it's like emotional clickbait, but with value. Always focus on inputs, which means videos around the emotions, over obsessing about immediate outputs like sales and views. Because, and I've said this multiple times, people can tell if you are trying too hard just to get that sale. So you really need to mainly prioritize like crafting such a unique story that's relatable to people that actually helps people, because if you just focus your mind, and this is a mindset part too, like if you just focus on how can I help as many people as possible by providing value first, the end result of that is just you getting sales. Versus if you focus on how can I just make more money, how can I just get more sales, it just comes across as just very desperate. I forgot the term for it. It's like probably the law of attraction. I have no idea. I don't remember. But, the last thing that you want to be in life is just desperate. This doesn't have to be about money. This can apply to literally anything, right? If you're not getting what you want out of life, it's because you're too fucking desperate. I guess the best example that I can give is like in relationships, right? If you keep chasing after women, if you keep chasing after guys, you're literally repelling them. You're energy pushes the exact same people that you want into your life. So if you actually want these people to come into your life, stop acting so desperate. Just let it come to you. Let it flow into your life. How do you do that? By not focusing on it and focusing on the actual important part, like building yourself up, or like just being a better person, or just being somebody who's actually fun to be around and having good company, things like that. Anyways, this is not a relationship advice video, but remember, you control the frame. So either be controlled by your insecurities or control it to make money. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video and thought, wow, this was actually super saucy, well, guess what? I actually have a newsletter, the first link in the description. Before anybody on YouTube or on any of my platforms actually find out about my sauce, I actually post about them first on my newsletter. So if you want to be ahead of the curve before everybody catches on, make sure you check out that newsletter. Just check out the testimonials from multiple people I've consulted for. They can vouch for me. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one.